What is up, everybody? Schuyler Callihan. I'm back here on Between the Ears. Yes, we've been off for quite a few days now. I actually had some fans or viewers of the show reach out to me on social media asking if we were still going to do shows. Yes, that is the case. Last week, we just had to take care of some business matters. So we were dealing with that. And we are back in the saddle for good from here on out. So now I will note that probably sometime here soon, maybe sometime after spring ball wraps up, our schedule probably will change to some extent. I don't know what that'll look like, but just kind of keep an eye out for that. I'll either tweet about it, I'll either say it on this show once it's final. We may go every day, Monday through Friday, like we've been doing throughout the off season, but with there being that little bit of a dead period, so to speak, we might use that to our advantage and just cut back a few episodes per week up until fall camp starts in August. So we'll see how that goes. But once we nail the details down, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But thank you guys for reaching out, making sure that we're still good. We're here. And always, thank you for the support here on our page here at Mountaineers Now. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like, give us a follow on X at Mountaineers Now. So back to business. Today, we're talking men's basketball. There's a lot of people freaking out about the fact that there really hasn't been much movement in the transfer portal. There's not a whole lot of movement going on in terms of the coaching staff and filling that out. And it's kind of like this doomsday kind of feeling / scenario that is kind of just running through people's minds. And I get it. You want some of these things that, happen a little bit quicker than they are. And that's understandably so, especially the coaching side of it. You want to have your assistants filled out. You don't really have to go to what happened last summer and start having those same thoughts as, oh boy, this is going to be another throwaway season. Let's just get to next year, get some high school recruits in. You have more of a foundation now because people know what Darren wants at West Virginia. It doesn't have to get to that point, and I don't believe that it will. Realistically, at least. In your heads, I can't control that. Only you can. But there's going to be guys that West Virginia reaches out on and they're going to miss in the portal. There's going to be guys that you hear potentially that are linked to West Virginia and the coaching side of it, and they miss. It happens. Happens everywhere. The one thing that I want you to keep in mind, and I don't know if a lot of people are really talking about this or not. I really don't pay attention to outside, sources or whatever. But you have to think of the ripple effect that has happened in college basketball with both coaching and recruiting. This year is much different than in years past because this year you're having big time jobs come open just a little later than they normally do. I mean, we're talking Arkansas, or USC, Arkansas, Kentucky, now BYU. I mean, and there's been a few others, even at the mid-major level. So when you have all this type of movement, Louisville, that's a lot of movement for big-time programs. So when you have all that go on in one off season, you're going to have later submissions to the transfer portal. You're going to have more coaches from those schools in particular become open, whether they follow the head coach to the next spot, who knows? But you also have coaches being brought in from other places. It's going to happen. So with that in mind, you have to remember that, one, that's going to cause a delayed sort of effect in the portal because there's more guys entering the portal. There's more spots for players to go because, if they were looking at a certain amount of schools and all of a sudden Coach A goes to this place and basically wipes that entire team out or most of it, then he's got all those scholarship spots in the world to work with. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, again, with coaching, there's going to be plenty of options because coaches will either take their assistants with them or the ones that they can't retain, they're going to go and pluck from somewhere else. And then boom, there's another open. See what I'm saying here? Everyone's dealing with this. Well, not everyone, but everyone, I guess, really to some effect is. The schools that made the coaching changes, they're dealing with it. The West Virginias, the Louisvilles, the BYUs, the Arkansas, the USCs, the Kentuckys of the world, they're dealing with it. But also are the schools that are having to replace assistant coaches and also players. It's going to happen. It's okay. It's not doomsday scenario yet. We're April 15th right now. All of this happened in June last year for West Virginia. We're 2 months away from that doomsday scenario. I got a hunch that it's not going to get to that point. There's several players in the portal that they're looking at. The coaching situation is pretty much more cleared up behind closed doors than anyone probably wants to believe. So I wouldn't even worry about that. You're going to see a staff get announced. I don't want to put a time marker on it, but it'll happen sooner than you think. Once that staff is put together, and most of it, I would say, I don't want to say is, but they've got a feeling, then you can kind of formulate your ideas for what you're looking for in the portal. So, I mean, Darren's pretty much run this whole operation since he got hired. But there's also a new kicker into this, the hire of the GM, Nelson Hernandez. This is what I think should give also some peace of mind. Go over to the football side just for a second. Prior to West Virginia hiring Drew Fabianich, they were losing guys to the portal like crazy. And this was also pre-NIL, so it's not total or Country Roads Trust being what they are now. So it's not just Drew, but they were losing guys to the portal. They weren't really having huge success rates with guys that they got from the portal. In the high school, recruiting was kind of hit and miss, right? Well, Drew comes in, and yes, last year's class was pretty much put together by Neil Brown and his staff. No question about it. But I think you can start to see some of the players that they're getting in this 25 class, the guys that they're getting close on in the 25 class, the guys that they're looking at in the 26 class. You're also seeing what they're bringing in through the portal. That's got some Drew Fabianich fingerprints all over that bad baby. And it looks much better and much more sustainable than what the recruiting process was prior to Drew. You have an NFL eye in your building. He knows what to look for. He knows not only what to look for you, but he knows how to get guys that are overlooked that shouldn't be overlooked and that should be on the trajectory to make it to the NFL. That's what you're getting in basketball now with Nelson Hernandez. So while Darren's, kind of forming this coaching staff together, while he's still reaching out to recruits in the portal and all that good stuff, he's also got Nelson now to kind of help alleviate some of that workload. He's got a pretty good idea as to what works in the Big 12. He was just at Oklahoma State. Okay, he knows basketball. This is a brilliant basketball mind. Everybody that I've talked to has said nothing but great things about Nelson. They believe he could be higher than a GM at the college level. But, he's still early in his career. But this is a good start for him. And this is a good start for Darren to have a GM in place. This is, it's weird to really talk about having GMs in college sports, but at this kind of juncture that we're in with NIL and the portal kind of tied together, and there's really no, I mean, there's rules, but are there really rules? I don't know. But to have somebody like that to kind of help oversee the whole operation, it's only going to help matters. It can't hurt it. An extra voice in the room, another eye, another opinion to hear makes tons of sense. So just take some comfort in the fact that you have a GM. Most teams don't. The portal is going to be delayed to some extent. Now, there's still guys going places like crazy, but there's going to be guys in the portal. And there's going to be coaching staff here pretty soon. Don't freak out. It's okay. It's April 15th. It's not June 15th. If it's June 15th and we're still having this conversation, well, hit that damn panic button. But until then, as Aaron Rodgers would say, relax. Just relax. Take a deep breath. It's okay. That's going to do it for me here today on Between the Ears. I appreciate you guys checking back in. And yes, we will be back tomorrow. We'll be here Monday through Friday leading up till spring ball. And then, like I said, we'll try to figure out some sort of a schedule from the end of spring ball up until fall camp. We'll see what that looks like. But make sure you do hit that subscribe button to get that notification every morning when we drop a video. Make sure you hit that like and follow us on X at Mountaineers Now. I'm Schuyler Callihan. This has been Between the Ears. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Take care.